Hello guys, welcome to another YouTube video. Today we're going to be looking at the This Week at Bungie for the 4th of May. And this is basically the pre-season 20 or pre-season 21 kind of review of things that we've gone over before and some other things that we did not know about looking up to. So we're going to dive right into it. One class to rule them all, or at least to get bragging rights. It's that time, Guardians. Time to show off class pride and show Guardians what you're made of, or collect medallions because, ooh, shiny. We're not here to judge. In case you missed it, we dropped all the info you could possibly want about this year's Guardian games right here. If you're in a rush, we get it. Here's what you may have missed. The spirit of competition is alive and well with the familiar podium and daily crest seen at the tower in all glory in Mississippi Levante. You simply can't forget about Space Grandma. You know the drill by now. Deposit medallions like your life depends on it for select activities, and hope your fellow class dwellers are doing the same. Whichever class has the most medallions at the end of this year's Guardian Games is the class that gets their tribute made in the tower, and the prize of knowing they're simply the best, at least for this year. We're pretty much a week into Guardian Games right now. There's been... Titan's been winning a lot of the days. And I believe there is a thing that is going around where players are basically agreeing to play Titan because of the passing of Lance Reddick from, I believe, last month or the month before. And basically, players that aren't Titan mains are agreeing to play Titan to, I guess, kind of take the lead for that. So that's an interesting thing to note. I am personally a Titan main. I don't know exactly how to feel about this. Like, I guess it's good sentiment, and I guess overall it's a good and means well. So, as long as people are enjoying what they're playing. Personally, I do not like the PvP supremacy mode. With that being said, the game mode itself I actually do like, but what I do not like is the extra super cooldown that you pick up whenever you pick up a crest from a downed guardian or enemy guardian. That is not okay. It's too much super cooldown. The strikes and stuff I think are fine, but the supremacy game mode needs to be changed. Terra Zippos has come out. I've seen a good bit of it in trials. It's not a every round gun I see, but I do see it fairly often. We're playing Rusted Lands this weekend, and I'm seeing more Terra Zippos than I see the title, but I do see the title every now and then. So, interesting things to see how the Guardian Games is affecting trials. Rolling with the deep, with a season 21 first look. Who doesn't love a good teaser, am I right? Here's our first look at what Season of the Deep will have to offer starting May 23rd at 10 a.m. Pacific, and it's just a couple of these pictures. We couldn't stand waiting any longer to talk about 3 new aspects. The Hunter aspect, Threaded Spectre. Activate class ability to leave behind a decoy woven from strand matter that draws attention of nearby combatants. After taking significant damage or when combatants approach, decoy detonates, dealing damage and releasing threadlings that seek out and attack nearby foes. Pesky ball gunfire that has you pinned down. Need a quick distraction that you can revive a teammate. Have you ever thought about what a bunch of threadlings in a trench coat look like? The new Threaded Spectre aspect for the Hunter Threadrunner might just be what you're looking for. The new Threaded Spectre aspect for the Hunter Threadrunner might be what you're looking for. When the players activate their dodge, they leave behind a decoy woven from strand matter that draws the attention of enemies on the battlefield. Enemies will shoot at the Threaded Spectre until it's destroyed or expires, giving the hunter and their fire team enough time to get to safety. When destroyed, a Threaded Spectre explodes into 2 threadlings. Threaded Spectre gives Hunter players access to threadling generation and a new way to control the battlefield. So, very interesting third Hunter aspect for me, in my opinion. Titan aspect, Fleckit Storm. Or Fleckit Storm. I don't know how you pronounce that, but anyway. While sliding, activate your charged melee ability to leap into the air or knocking nearby targets away and dealing damage. While airborne, activate your charged melee again to launch a cluster of damaging, unraveling projectiles. Repeatedly activating melee will chain additional throws. Berserker Titans are known for their unbridled aggression. While sprinting headfirst into battle is often the best way to deploy Berserker abilities, we want to provide players with a tool that allows for more potency at range and gives Titans easier ways to unravel enemies. This is where Fletched Storm comes into play. With Fletched Storm, Berserkers will have access to a new powerful slide melee attack similar to Consecration that quickly launches them up into the air and blasts away any nearby enemies. While still airborne, press the melee button again to fire a cluster of tracking projectiles that deal heavy damage and unravel enemies. So I think the unravel debuff works on anti-barrier, if I'm not mistaken. So this could be interesting. Fletched Storm provides the Berserker with a ranged melee option to keep within the spirit of their fast-paced gameplay. So this sounds like it might be the PvP option for Berserkers in PvP. So we'll see. I may tinker with this a little bit. It might be fun. Warlock Aspect, the Wanderer. Tangles you throw attached to enemies and detonate in a suspending burst. Threadling final blows create a tangle. Since the Warlock Blood Reaver is a strained minion master, it felt natural to explore additional ways for the Blood Reaver might weave into the world around them. Enter the Wanderer, a sentient tangle woven from Blood Weaver brilliance. When Warlocks equip this aspect and pick up a tangle, they weave the tangle into a Wanderer. When thrown, the Wanderer travels through the air seeking targets. Once it finds a target, it soars towards them, latches on and explodes in a suspending detonation that deals damage and suspends any nearby targets. To round out the gameplay loop, the Wanderer also enables threadling final blows from any source to generate a tangle. The Wanderer gives Broodweavers another way to upgrade their tangles and grant access to the suspend effects without needing a shackle grenade. We're pretty excited to get these new strained aspects into the game, and we hope you enjoy them. When Season 21 launches, we'll be monitoring their performance across the game and continue to balance them over time. The Wanderer might actually be a low-key OP PvP play, especially with the Swarmers, so we'll see how that goes. Stasis Strained and Light subclasses get their glow-ups for Season 21. Earlier this week, you may have seen the new blog post from our friendly combat gameplay team. Team dove into ability tuning changes for the Guardians to look forward to in Season 21, including changes to roaming supers that we think are pretty spiffy, from fragment budget to a breakdown of both Stasis and Strand on the horizon. Here's a handy TLDR for your viewing pleasure. Tuning changes to supers, including an ice buff to DR and damage dealt in PvE. A class-by-class breakdown in Season 21 changes what we're doing to beef up Stasis. How subclass keywords are evolving for Arc and Solar players. So this is going to be its own individual dev blog. I'll go over this in the weekly feedback. Economy changes in this economy. Wait, they're actually talking about not increasing the powerful pinnacle and power floor caps in Season 21. If you have already reached powerful and pinnacle cap, you will automatically be at powerful and pinnacle cap this upcoming season. Below that is exotic armor focusing and decryption. We talked about this in an earlier episode of the weekly feedback. Basically, there's going to be 2 different tiers of exotic focusing, so that way we can focus specific armor pieces that we want, or at least from within a collective pool. So we can kind of narrow down better roles for exotics that we like. We're going to be getting these exotic engrams from things like rank up rewards. So exotic focusing tier 1 is going to have these little subtypes of where we got it from the exotic from, whether it's going to be year 1, whether it's going to be year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and as well as the associated costs with those based on the focusing tier. On tier 1, it's going to be like that, and then tier 2 is a direct focus where it costs a good bit more, but you can focus that exact piece of armor that you want. However, you will need to have already gotten the armor piece in the first place. So this doesn't completely evade having to do lost sectors. You still have to do the lost sector to unlock the new armor piece, or you still have to do Vex Strike Force for now until they can come up with other ways for us to get new exotics. That's going to be kind of the thing. We're going to have to keep doing that for now to get that first roll, and then after you get that first roll, it's unlocked into this pool, and then when you get an exotic engram, you can focus it afterwards. Lastly, since we are not raising the pinnacle cap in Season 21, the need for many pinnacle legendary rewards has dropped significantly to make playing in our evergreen ritual playlists more worthwhile. We are changing the rewards for the basic complete activities challenges to a focusable, powerful exotic engram. This gives most players 3 to 9 free, achievable, and determined weekly exotic engrams ready for focusing. But yes, you will lose some pinnacle drops, so reaching the pinnacle cap will be a bit slower for everyone. We are hoping the need for less pinnacle drops to continue in future seasons, but we will be looking at feedback and analytics and are ready to adjust as necessary. So other sources of focusable exotic engrams include random world drops, season pass paid and free track 6 paid, 2 free per season, vendor reputation tracks. You can expect additional focusable exotic engram sources in the future seasons. Now let's set our sights on Deepsight activation and other crafting changes on the way. So below that will be Deepsight activation and crafting economy changes. So in Season 21, we will be adding the ability to electively activate Deepsight on weapon instances to obtain pattern progress. This capability will be accessible through a new mod slot in the weapon details screen for eligible weapons. To perform a Deepsight activation on a weapon, you will need a new currency called Deepsight Harmonizer. Non-raid weapons will cost 1 harmonizer, while raid weapons will require 15 spoils of conquest in addition to 1 harmonizer cost. Basically, let's say you can buy a piece of mind from Banshee. Let's say you buy 5 of them from Banshee. You're only going to have to use 1 harmonizer per piece of mind. And also the way that it's going to work is that you cannot just buy 1 piece of mind and do the Deepsight harmonizer on it 5 times. It will not work like that. You have to buy 5 separate rolls. And purchasing craftable weapons will only work with Zur and will also only work with the gunsmith. Let's say I want to get a heritage and I want to craft a heritage. I can't just go to the vendor at the end and buy 5 separate heritages. That will not work. I have to basically do the encounters where heritage drops, I believe, Atrax. You have to earn 5 separate heritage rolls, and then you have to activate the Deepsight Harmonizer on each of them, as well as 15 spoils of conquest on each of them. So that is how the activating Deepsight for raid weapons will work. Deepsight Harmonizer currency can be obtained in Season Pass rank rewards, 3 in free ranks and 3 in paid. This will be the sole source of the currency for the initial rollout of the feature. Additionally, only 1 harmonizer can be stored in the inventory at any time. This currency does not stack. This is going to be a big fat F from Bungie. So basically, let's say you play the free pass during the season, you're only going to be able to get 3 harmonizers. So that means you're only going to get 3 Deepsights the entire season if you don't even pay for the season. IMO, that's really bad, and they need to fix that quickly. They need to find some other way for us to earn Deepsight harmonizers. That would be fantastic. At least they have come up with this idea, but locking it behind the season pass thing for now is not good whatsoever. And only having 6 per season for this second in time. Ideally, they come up with a fix to this pretty quickly. So we are going to move along to crafting changes. Legendary shards will be removed from all crafting components. So from now on, it's just going to be glimmer, enhancement cores, and I believe it's in the alloy. Enhanced weapon costs are based on weapon masterwork costs, and thus still require legendary shards, as we are not yet modifying the weapon masterwork economy in Season 21. Quality of life updates we think you'll enjoy. So in Season 21, they're going to be adding new raid triumphs to Last Wish, Deepstone Crypt, Vow the Disciple, Vault of Glass, and King's Fall. So that way, the more of these triumphs that you can do, they add more to your chances of getting those raid exotics. I'm not going to go over every single one of these, but this is a good thing that they're adding. I personally really want the new raid exotic conditional finality. I think that would play very well on Shadebinder. Finest Matter Weave and Rainmaker deprecation. All existing instances of Finest Matter Weave can be dismantled for 1 enhancement core each. All existing instances of Rainmaker can be dismantled for 3,000 Glimmer. I don't know about you, but I've got like 400 of these suckers in my vault. Or not in my vault, but in my inventory. And can't wait to spend them. Vanguard Bounty updates. We haven't made wide-ranging updates to Vanguard bounties in a while, so we took a pass to make them friendlier. Existing daily bounties requiring you to get specific type of kill, grenade, headshot, and any of the special or heavy weapons now require twice as many kills to complete. Can be done anywhere in the game with increased progress in Vanguard Ops or Nightfalls. If you only plan on doing these in Vanguard activities, you should see no change in behavior. We also added a number of new bounties. Killing elites, mini-bosses, and champions. Kills with elemental abilities with bonuses for killing with a subclass verb. Or to complete 2 Vanguard activities. Regarding repeatable bounties, all enemy type kill bounties, Hive, Vex, Taken, Cabal, Fallen Scorn, have significantly increased requirements, but can be advanced by killing any combatant in Vanguard activity, with significantly increased progress for killing the correct type of combatant. We also added 1 new repeatable bounty, 1 for getting fireteam kills in a Vanguard activity. Good Boy Protocol. Archie's returning in Season 21. Now that we found him a permanent home in the tower, we also reintroducing the Good Boy Protocol stat tracker and moving it to the account career category. Your previous progress from Season 19 will also carry over. Important season pass info starting in Season 21. Season passes will basically be increased in cost. Season pass goes from 1,000 silver to 1,200 silver. Season pass plus 10 rank bundles are 2,000 silver to 2,200. New pricing for season passes and Lightfall's year for those looking to maximize rewards with each season, and we'll be evaluating new approaches to post-launch content in the year of the final shape. So basically, the season passes for every year is going to be $2 more for the rest of the year. And I imagine this won't change whenever final shape comes around. It's kind of crappy that it's playing out this way, but it is what it is. Trials, these rewards are flawless and weapon changes on the way. So we're going to be taking a look at some of the new cosmetics we can get for trials, including this scarab-looking ghost shell, this ship, the sparrow, which I actually kind of like the sparrow, and then this shader. I'm not too fond of the shader, but I think it would look decent on the trials gear itself. And they actually are saying that they're going to have new shaders for trials every season for the next 3 seasons now. So Season 21, Glorious Patina. Season 22, Bloodline Feud. Season 23, Vizier Regalia. For Season 21, the Messenger, High Impact Pulse Rifle, and the Kinetic slot's going to be re-added back to the loot pool. And the Unexpected Resurgence Adaptive Art Glaive is going to be added to the loot pool. Being taken out of the loot pool for this upcoming season and being added into the Legacy pool is going to be the Inquisitor Shotgun and the Whistler's Whim Bow. Let's talk about labs. In Week 8, we ran a Trials Labs to test a new style of matchmaking for Trials of Osiris, being connection-based matchmaking. Overall, the new system worked mostly as intended, but we did discover an issue with the lobby balancer, which was causing high skill solo players to often feel like matches were stacked against them. For some background, since we had moved to using ticket-based matchmaking years ago, we have not been tracking skill in trials and have not been utilizing any sort of skill-based lobby balancing either. This is going to be kind of a preface to what their point is for what occurred during Week 8. So Week 8, there was connection-based matchmaking. What there had been in trials before was basically ticket and win-based matchmaking per ticket. Ideally, it tracks you around the same number of wins that you have on a card. And Week 8, it was just supposed to be purely connection-based matchmaking. And basically what had happened was the new matchmaking system allowed us to match based on card state and track skill, which we were planning to use for analytic purposes. Preemptively, we believed that we had disabled skill-based lobby balancing, as the intent of the new system was to maintain a randomized nature of the lobbies present in a previous iteration of trials. Unfortunately, this turned out not to be the case, and the previously latent lobby balancer came back online as soon as player skills values started to solidify over the weekend. So, TLDR, it was connection-based matchmaking last week, but the skill-based lobby balancer was on. So, just like I had said on Twitter, the issue was not matchmaking itself, the issue was lobby balancing. And also a combination of the game mode and game type, being the Distant Shore weekend with trials for zones. Yeah, I told you so. Second issue that came to our attention at Week 8 Labs, we did not communicate properly. Starting Sunday at reset, players who had already been flawless could still farm adept rewards on any 7-win card, or like they could when Flawless Pool was active. For Week 11 Labs, we will be activating this feature as soon as Trials goes live on Friday. What this means is that once you go Flawless, you can continue to play on that same 7-win card for the rest of the weekend, even if it is flawed, and any win has a chance to grant you the Adept weapon for the week. And this is going to be the weekend of the Inquisitor, by the way. This will be your final chance at the Inquisitor Precision Slug Arcshotty. So, if you've been wanting to get a roll, get ready to play this upcoming weekend. Now we're going to go into a little bit more of Trials, including the intro quest, Dominion game mode, and more. So, we want to make the Trials introductory quest more of an actual introduction to Trials and less of a do a time-consuming thing before you can play Trials. In Season 20, new players are currently asked to get 50 Crucible kills, raise power level, and reset their Valor rank once. They're going to change it a little bit. Step 1, complete your competitive placement matches. Get 50 kills in competitive. Raise your power level. Step 2, pick up a Trials passage, play a game of Trials, win one round of Trials, get an E-Lemon Trials, and a reward. And then the reward is a roll of the Astral Horizon Trials shotgun. So let's see if they keep that the same reward in upcoming seasons whenever the Astral Horizon eventually gets vaulted back. Trials passages. So Trials passages are getting changes, like I mentioned in previous episodes of the weekly feedback. Passage of Wealth previously granted increased reputation on wins 3, 5, and 7 on a card. In Season 21, the passage will grant plus 75 Trials rep for every win, along with an additional bonus for your current major rank up in Trials, up to 150 total. So, Passage of Wealth is going to give a lot more for every win, and not just certain wins on a card. Passage of Mercy in Season 21, the passage will forgive 2 losses if you have yet to go Flawless for the weekend. That means you can lose twice and still get to the Lighthouse, but you can only lose twice. And once you go Flawless, to go back to the Lighthouse, if you say you reset your card after you go Flawless for the weekend, you can earn another trip back to the Lighthouse using the same card, but you're only allowed to lose once. And we're going to talk about the Dominion game type. In Season 21, we will be moving to Dominion as the core game mode for Trials. This is not a change we are making lightly, but after several seasons of testing in Trials labs and analyzing both positive and negative, we believe the shift is in the best interest of Trials as a whole for several reasons. Offers a choice between elim and playing an objective. On average, games are 15% faster than standard elim games. Objectives promote more varied engagements on the map as the zones direct players around the map and establish multiple defined fronts. Promotes a healthier sandbox variety in both weapons and subclasses. Provides us with more balancing levers to change the gameplay experience. The main thing that I have to say about this, well, I have two main things. Number one, yes, it is good. It is a very good change because it will allow less opportunity for passive play, basically. That is going to be the positive thing I have to say about this. There is going to be a negative thing I have to say about this as well, is that specifically item number 4 promotes a healthier sandbox variety in both weapons and subclasses. This is not going to necessarily be the case because the classes that are stronger, classes and subclasses that are stronger in area deniability or area lockdown, being Will of Radiance, being Bubble, Titan, those are going to be the more meta subclasses until the cooldowns for those supers get nerfed, as they are the currently lowest cooldown tiered supers right now, and those provide area defense and in my opinion will not be balanced for this game type, but it hasn't been yet, so we'll see what they do to change these moving forward. Gilded Flawless, they will change how Gilded Flawless works. In Season 21, the changes will become get 500 kills, earn 16 trials ranks, go Flawless and get 50 kills with one seasonal exotic weapon equipped, skill of the one, while on a ticket with 0 losses to the light, with the light for the lost emblem equipped, win 20 games, acquire the following medals: Double Kill, Skullbreaker, and the Beginning, Strength of the Many. While on a ticket with 0 losses, with the Flawless Empyrean emblem equipped, win 20 games, acquire the following medals: Flight of the Pigeon, Paradoxically Perfect, and Time Trials. We believe these changes better reflect the spirit of the game mode and show a level of core competency that is worthy of gilding the Flawless title. You get these you get this really sick emblem, which yeah, looks pretty sick. Speaking of trials, the map voting was in and we got Rusted Lands. So thank you for voting Rusted Lands, even though we're kind of out here struggling and not having the best time, but it's okay. Free Prime Gaming gear includes Hit the Bag Exotic Emote, Phalanx Ghost Shell, Alton's Ambus Legendary Sparrow, Pumping Iron Legendary Ghost Hollow Projection. Below that is free wallpapers for the Guardian games for each class. And below that is the player support report. And Guardian games will be running until May 23rd. Hotfix 7.0.5.2 was released on Tuesday. Known issues listed below that. Below that is Movie of the Week. And then below that is the Artist of the Week with Artist Things. And that is going to be it for the weekly TWAB. Thank you for watching the video. And as always, have a good one.